Up first tonight, we have Amelia Bell, the Early Literacy Advisor at Shelby County Schools. We're excited to welcome her as she talks to us about family literacy resources.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Amelia Bell, as he stated, and I am an early literacy advisor with Shelby County Schools. So today we'll look at holiday literacy fun. And we know that literacy is just not pencil and paper. It's all around us. And it's a busy time. It's full of fun and excitement. And so we want to make sure that you are encouraging your students or your children to be busy this holiday season, keeping them reading and writing. And so we're going to review some festive literacy activities to enjoy between eating the remaining turkey from Thanksgiving and decorating your Christmas tree. Most of these are quick and they require little to no materials, and they're even great for your drive to a relative's home. So let's first start off with holiday crafts and oral language. There are lots of fun activities that you can work on with children of all ages. First off, let's make holiday cards for special friends and family. Be sure to write a holiday message. This will get kids moving, their creativity going, and they can create these nice holiday cards and also incorporate those writing skills that they learn. Snuggle up with a great seasonal book or pick up some books from your local public library. We know that reading can be a wonderful way to relax and reconnect. And children of all ages love read aloud. So sit with your children and read them a great book. Even have some hot chocolate to make the experience even better. You can write and decorate thank you cards, write in a journal, or have your children to create a Christmas list. We know that they probably already created that Christmas list and sent it to you multiple times with additions to it. So you can have them to create that and also have them to write out relatives' names and the gifts that you'd like to give them. Sit around the couch and share favorite memories with your family. Listen to a grandparent tell about their childhood holiday traditions and celebrations, or sing your favorite songs. By engaging children in these oral language activities, it increases their listening skills, their vocabulary, and even their comprehension. So we know that the holidays we love to eat, eat, eat. So let's jump right on in to the kitchen. You can have your child to create Play-Doh. Play-Doh can be made out of 3 easy ingredients that we probably already have in our cupboards. That's cornstarch, baking soda, and water. Have your children to mix that up, add a little food coloring, and they can spell out words and even create pictures with that homemade Play Doh. I know we all remember the cereal alphabets. So have children to create words from the letters of the cereal. ABC pasta. Create silly words with the letters of the pasta. Have children to dip in and see what they can create. You can use a recipe to bake your favorite holiday treat and then make your own holiday recipe. So you can have your child to read the recipe that's incorporating their reading and then have them to gather the ingredients. Allow your child to measure out each ingredient, which we know incorporates those wonderful math skills. They can also taste some of the ingredients and describe how each ingredient tastes or feels, such as we know that the M&Ms will be sweet and the pretzels will be salty and the marshmallows will be soft. So encourage them to use all their senses when they're mixing up these recipes. Let's take a look at one of my favorite Christmas recipes, and it's the Christmas tree Rice Krispies. You'll just need these 6 ingredients. Of course, your Rice Krispies, your pretzel sticks, butter, marshmallows, sprinkles, and the green food coloring. First step. So, this is teaching children to follow steps or procedures to create things. So, you're going to spray your 9x13 baking pan with non-stick cooking spray. In a large pan, you got to melt that butter and marshmallows while stirring constantly over medium heat. Once that marshmallow and butter mixture is nice and smooth, add in the green food coloring. Be sure to remove it from the heat and add in your Rice Krispies until all of the cereal is coated. Press it evenly into a greased pan, then sprinkle your sprinkles. Allow it to cool for 30 minutes and then cut it into triangles, adding in your pretzel sticks for your Christmas trees. That's a sweet and easy treat. So we always know that our children like to sit on the couch and get out those iPads, but let's get them moving. Well, we know snow is rare here, but when we do get it, have students to make words with their footprints in the snow. Lego letters. I step on Legos every day. I'm sure everyone has Legos somewhere in their home. Print letters on those blocks and build word towers. In a beanbag toss, spell the words while you're tossing the beanbag back and forth for each letter. So these interactive things can get students up and moving. We can't leave out the fun for the family. Get the entire family involved. Get those board games out: Monopoly, checkers, Connect Four. All of those games help to promote oral language and conversation. Pick up a few new games such as Headbands or Pictionary. Story cues are a lot of fun as well. Roll the dice and tell a story using the pictures. And we also can play charades, talking, moving, and laughing. We know that we love our tablets and our iPads. So, in the meantime, over the break, have them to add some literacy apps on that tablet. You can just search literacy for kids and you can get a plethora of apps that you can download that your student can practice over the break. Check out Epic. It has wonderful stories and animated books for children to read. Starfall.com is also a great app, and you can even use it on a laptop. It has great early learning activities. And you can even create interactive puppet shows with the Puppet Pals app. So get the kids involved. If they like to play on their tablet, let them do something academic first. And they don't even realize that they're learning because they're playing and enjoying. Remember, literacy is everywhere. When you're having fun and spending time together, the learning will blossom. I am representing the Early Literacy Office at Shelby County Schools. If you should ever need us, please contact us at Early Literacy Department, DEPT, at scesk12.org, or our office number 901-416-4801. I hope that I've shared some things that you can incorporate this holiday season. Happy reading.
Thanks, Amelia, so much. That was amazing. I want some Rice Krispie trees now for sure.